Thanks everyone for sticking in, and thank you, Krishanu and Dr. Hsiao for coming on the session. And this is the only air observation session at the conference, so I'm glad for a chance to moderate it. And since we've got only two guests, at the same time, I don't think everyone in the room may be as familiar with what you are doing and your activities in the air observation space. I think you can take maybe extended introduction and talk both about your companies and then how your journey in EO has evolved. Because for Tron, you have not started in air observation, so I think that's an interesting angle there. And then Krishanu, Suhora has been around for I think 5-6 years now. So you've evolved over time. So maybe you could talk about how does Suhora look like today, as well as how does the journey look like to come here. So I think you can start.
Okay, cool. Hey, I'm audible, pretty sure, I guess. I'm Krishanu Acharya. I'm co-founder and CEO of a company called Suhora Technologies. We are an Indian company. So it's pretty, I think in this APSCC is only few people from India representing India and Indian story. So I think previous discussions also we talked about how space and funding around space in ASEAN countries, Japan, Singapore have been spoken. So India also having its fair share. I'll say not as exciting like others, but still it's a it's a nugget. He said so. I think it's nugget. It didn't work. So I'm pretty sure this is gonna grow only. So coming back to me, we as a company we have started 6 years back. We are a vertically integrated intelligence as a platform company. So what I do mean by that, we bring a lot of technologies to scramble satellite data, Earth observation satellite data to be specific, and raised quite a few solutions, algorithms, platforms around it to deliver critical infrastructure monitoring capabilities to government. So that goes both for national security and non-security critical infrastructure monitoring as well. So disaster resilience, of course, national security both in maritime, terrain side, etc., where a user gets what the information's package of informations where they use it for their sensitive decision-making data points. We, in due course, we have created around 4 platforms which have its own individualistic approach towards, be it maritime, be it your border security, be it your disaster, etc. So that is in works. I'm pretty sure to defer this one into this. But yes, so we as a company, so to summarize, we are bringing space-based ISR imaging surveillance reconnaissance for critical infrastructure monitoring for countries. It pretty India-focused company at this moment, but I'm here in Taiwan. It shows that I am here to do business beyond the boundaries and looking forward to meaningful discussions in next hours, days. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Hsiao from Tron Future Tech. I'm the engineer for the AI to design the AI algorithm. So let me to briefly introduce the Tron Future Tech. Tron Future Tech is focused on phased array. At first, we focus on phased array antenna. Antenna is used in intelligence sensing and drone defense. The drone defense system has been imported in Taiwan government infrastructure, and also delivered to the Taiwan military in these years. We have 80% of drone defense markets in Taiwan, and we also have overseas customers like France, like Middle East, like Thailand. And for the advanced application of our RF modules, we also have satellite communication with domestic companies. The CubeSat has been launched in 2023, which is the first wide bandwidth CubeSat in Taiwan. And we also have cooperated with TASA for the SAR sensors with our phased array antennas. And last but the least, we have developed corresponding software with AI analysis for the SAR images. So, yes.
Great, thank you. And then over the next 20 minutes, we can talk about AI, we can talk about defense, we can talk about partnerships, business models. So certainly a wide-ranging conversation. Maybe we can start from the AI. I really like the point raised at the previous panel that basically there are around 4,000 analysts in the US today just looking at the imagery, and basically where your company stands, you are pretty much trying to mitigate that effort or augment the human analyst looking at the intelligence. So can you talk about sort of what role AI plays in your workflows today and how that helps make sense from the the sheer number of satellite data and information you are working with?
Right. So we are from India, right? So if you say we are using AI to mitigate people's involvement, so our people will not love it. So that's one side, but we need people into the loop. Human into the chain is very much important. As also area to look at, even if there's quite a bit of automation is happening, because what we do as a company is very sensitive enough, for if something, some glitch happens through AI, then it goes into different directions altogether, right? So we're trying to mitigate with, of course, human into the loop, while we do use AI, ML, computer visions in a long way for quite a few, quite a few operations. One, of course, computer visions for detections, classifications, etc. that you can already understand, right? So our major, breaking down a satellite data into informations, or rather, chunk of informations happens through computer visions, that for sure. And that's where our major, major workforce goes towards that as well. Second, the inferences, right? So when we create, data is, we keep on saying, data is a commodity, information is the product, right? So bringing informations the way a user understanding the requirement of the, or say real-time requirement of a customer is where the context creation happens. So that's precisely where we as a company is focusing a lot to bring, inference making mechanisms. It's understand your situation, you understand your, different, integrating different sensors. And so we ourselves as a company have created called Horizon.ai. That's an integrated platform inside our entire ecosystem, where it sits, understands everything, critically characterize the amount of threats and give out, informations in a human or human-like context as well. So computer visions, and also the, some tools like, GenAI kind of platform also integrates to bring these two sectors while keeping human absolutely into the loop. We are not going away from that. So, yeah.
Okay, so with the AI, we can let the SAR image or optical image from the satellite to make like object detection, and then we can make this object to like use the large language model LLM to make it as a readable plain language. So in our Tron Future Tech, we have developed AI platform. The platform has first we can search a large coverage area for the early warning, like maybe a lot of sheep is in a port for waiting for maybe like military exercise. Then the LLM engines will give us early warning. Then we can zoom into the area of interesting to let the engine make a accurate inference. Inference will maybe later we can show our demo, or we can see the demo in our booth outside. The LLM engine will tell us maybe they'll have 2 aircraft carrier in Sanya ports in Hainan Island. Then maybe these 2 aircraft carrier is ready to do the military exercise in China, South China states. Like we can give the decision maker a readable and faster reports lazy to do the faster decision and more accuracy, convenient way to make a decision. Yes.
And maybe to follow up, because I had a chance to see your platform and it's pretty powerful stuff. Basically, you enable large area scanning, then detecting objects of interest, and then using the LLMs to interpret in sort of human language what's going on in the scene. So can you maybe find like a specific example? You know, you described one about the ships in Hainan. There be another example of, you know, where an analyst or a military user could have a use of the platform you've developed?
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, if you can provide an example how a customer or a user can benefit from the platform that you've just developed.
Okay, so actually our customers maybe it's the military government, so they can have the early warning to prepare the defense from enemy, but not for China. For every country, we all have the national defense necessary. So the customer or the user can know the maybe the potential enemy want to do something, or another way we can have the like landslide or flooding and disaster detection for the for government to protect the civilians in typhoon or heavy raining, like something like this. We can use SAR to monitor the mountain or the river that let people avoid from the dangers.
Makes sense. So then it means that your platform is both for sort of disaster mitigation and disaster response, as well as very much dual use military kind of use case.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. So maybe let's talk about the data you are using, because obviously, Krishanu, your platform is working with sheer number of data, and also you had many partnerships announced in the last 12 months kind of time frame. So what data are you using, and maybe which additional data sets would you be looking to integrate? You know, what is something that you are missing, not getting today?
So I think the way Tron is also making their company, we are onto a similar path, right? So we are making a dual use ISR capabilities as well. So that goes what we create for critical use cases that can also be used for saving lives as well, and that's what we've been doing. So in terms of bringing back to the requirement of data, so at any given point we converge almost 5 to 6 types of data at to come out to a solutions. I'll just give an example. The way our maritime domain awareness works, we not only bring large synthetic aperture radar looking for the tips, and then queuing with the high resolution, be it synthetic aperture radar, optical, or even some of the other RF sensors. We also bring open source information gathering large way, so understanding the criticality of those activities around it. So not only Earth observations. In Earth observation, of course, you can imagine all types of synthetic aperture radar, optical, SAR, synthetic aperture optical, then RF, AIS, etc. Then also bringing other capabilities around, say, indigenously available platform like say PATI, etc. Some of the other capabilities that government India at this moment have to make it available into the platform itself. So it becomes a kind of cohesive platform, irrespective of or what types of data it is. It still spit out the right information a user wants. So, and of course, we do use a lot of ISRO satellites. So ISRO has a tremendous amount of satellites which is otherwise not commercially exploited across the places, which we also use it often. Just to give an example, we also have our own communication and dual channel satellites. Like the one is launched, I think, a couple of days back, to replenish some of the, this is geo satellite by the way. It has dual usability as well, which is also part of the platform. So what we are creating at any point, we are using a lot of Earth observations, we are using a lot of drones, etc. We are using some of the other ancillary terrestrial capabilities as well, making it one single platform to deliver what a user need. And yeah, I think, yes.
So we all know EO is a long-term and consistent monitor process, so we need the real-time data. But actually, in now we don't have the real-time data. We only build our AI model, AI algorithm with our PAST and open source data sets. So actually, we are seeking to partnership or cooperative opportunity with maybe audience or yes, with the real-time and consistent data source. Yes.
So for the SAR data analysis platform that you have today, can you maybe name a few providers that you have been using to develop the platform? Is that something you can share?
Actually, we use the multi-resource, like we use the Sentinel-1 and also the Umbra and Compass from different resolutions. So we say we can have the early warning with the large coverage, with the medium resolution data, and for a small scale in the area of interesting, we have very high resolution for accuracy object detection with the high resolution data. So we use all of the open data source build our AI platforms. Because in AI algorithm or in AI world, with a lot of data, with more data, we can get more and more accurate resource for inference and predictions. Thanks.
So to summarize, so far you have been using available high-resolution open data, so we know that Umbra has a very intense open data program, the same for Sentinel, and then over time as you launch your platform, you will be looking to use more data and sort of high revisit consistency and as low latency as possible is a priority.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so maybe we should discuss, Eric, because that's where we have created a platform called Spade. It's a amalgamation of almost all commercially exploitable data you can think of. It's very interesting. It's not just aggregation of data. What it does, it brings to the users, this orbit optimizations. So he mentioned about real timeness, right? So what we do, bringing different platforms, which is again available. You name a company starting from ISI, Maxar, to even Singapore and Telios is also part of it. So what we are doing, we are really bringing this low latency coverage over any point you want to put your finger on the globe. This platform gives you access to almost 300 plus sensors at any given point in time, which is not just, again I said, it's not a simply say Amazon of say data. It also works in terms of works a little more in terms of delivering a user the speed, the accuracy, the data the reports they need. So what I do mean by that, say for given a situation, okay, there's a contingency where you require data in every say half an hour. It really uses different sensors, looking at the weather pattern, looking at the severity, looking at what you're looking at, and it gives you which sensor, which platform you should be tasking first. Second, if it is not happening, then it automatically switches to the second type of available data centers. Again, considering what are the weather's capability of the platform, etc. So that's called Spade. Maybe we can discuss, and that's also available to check out as well. So, but just to name all the companies, including Umbra, he said, ISI, SatLogic, etc., Black Sky, everyone is available in that platform. Almost everyone is available in that platform.
Cool. So in the remaining minutes, we can certainly tackle questions from the audience, and then I would like to turn attention towards the business side of the, your companies and business model. So starting with the question from the audience, for border patrol or ISR early warning, what would be the typical response time through your systems?
So actually, whole process is from raw star data into the languages reports. And for raw star data, we need to do like imagine like using the RDA algorithm. And with the GPU acceleration, we only take less than 20 seconds for a 10 by 10 kilometer star image. Then for object detection and LLM inference, we only take less than 7 seconds with GPU acceleration. So we only take maybe like 30 seconds for the whole process, make it like a near real-time process.
So we as a company, right, so we had moved from platform or say data from data to the intelligence. What I do mean by that, my customers today, typically Government of India, they don't look for these kind of what are the timelines what using. We see it almost, how frequently we see, that depends on what are the use cases. It can vary even from an hour to 8 hours to every day. But what is important is we deliver when they need to know something. We look for the early warning through several other ways of extracting information, then pushing it to the users the speed they want to know, they need to know, rather looking for, what are the SLAs. Of course, we do have SLAs. Our SLAs can run between 1 hour to 8 hours. When I say 8 hours, that means, every 8 hours, we can deliver a value chain in terms of satellite-based inferences up to 8 hours, but it can go up to 1 hour as well. But the processing time, as Eric said, the AI, etc., kicks in. They have fairly fast, throughput, few seconds, etc. So that we can talk in details if anybody interested. So, yeah.
So maybe what you are commenting on is like sort of continuous intelligence delivery system. If you were talking about on-demand respect, so there is an airfield, and then your customer requests an information of what's happening on that site, sort of from tasking or from the decision to seek an information to delivery. How long would like the average response look like?
Yes. So my those kind of scenarios, right? That can be as good as 25 minutes to a couple of hours. So our SLAs are generally runs into 4 to 6 hours, but best case scenarios or say average mean time will be something around 60 to 90 minutes in that kind of scenarios what you're referring. But in terms of continuous intelligence information, that again, as when the contingency or some alert happens. So yeah.
So in the remaining time, we can maybe talk a bit about budgets and funding. So I know that the Indian government has been spending heavily on defense, and I think that reflects quite well in your performance, at least for Suhora. So I don't know how much you want to comment on that, but basically, how do the budget trends look like for the customers you are serving? How does that affect your company?
A lot. So when we started in 2018, so it was merely data-driven company. To today, it's a say intelligence infrastructure company, right? So that also shows how government, or rather, it's happening everywhere. I think that kind of consolidation is happening every part of the world. So Government of India just go back to, so they went inwards to look what Indian players can bring to the table, and they are ready to not only support in terms of the projects, in terms of also funds, in terms of again also hand-holding how they need. So the example is I'll say recently we have awarded by Government of India to secure our maritime borders, and so at this moment we scan almost around 6 million square kilometers every single day. To come up with reports again multiple times a day, where the understanding of the situations and those kind of I'll say analytics requirement are coming from the department while giving us the project. So I think it's changing, and when the so indigenous sovereign other capability like own satellites are also ramping up, so it will become a pretty I'll say inward looking ecosystem, which I'm really looking in next couple of hours to 5 years.
Okay, so same situation with in Taiwan. Taiwan government has rising the budget with the national defense, and most of these will introduce to the joint defense system, and with these benefits, we can get a more high quality GPU, high quality computation resource to make our AI platform can do more difficulty, more complexity, inference and training in a low latency and make it more faster. Make it more faster, yes.
Nice. And then what we've seen in the market, sort of last question before we move to the closing, is many of your upstream hardware providers were moving from selling data to start selling satellites. So we've seen the move from Umbra and ICI and Planet making big partnerships in Germany and in Japan. So when your data providers or future data providers are moving from the business model where they sell data to the business model where they sell satellites, how does that influence, your position in the market?
Interesting, and so I have seen ICI's journey for last 6.5 years. So initially when they've been starting, because I worked with a company called Dymos Imaging, so it didn't work well, but we end up having a lot of relations into the market. So like ICI folks, right? So we have seen their journey, right? Like last couple of years, they really pushed towards constellation or some mission as a service they called, right? So I think that's organic. That has to happen. That's the journey of any company, like where the success is. It looks like that is the success trajectory. So we as a company, I see that is imminent for a country sovereign capabilities, because the security and security layers and the trust of a company to deliver something irrespective of that is coming from a partner or indigenous capability. So I'll say for us it becomes really neutral. I don't see that's a challenge. First, second, we see there's an opportunity to have our own some ownership of the constellations as well, because we as a company, as we move towards intelligence as a service company, we have to have some ownership of the birds as well, and that's how we look at it. So pretty neutral, but it opens up a new opportunities for us to have some ownership of the satellites as well. So
and as I have mentioned before, we have designed a SAR sensor for TASA, and if they can, we are keep associated with the data provide process, and if we could have our SAR sensor in space and provide the data, and we will understand the spaces in these SAR sensors. We can make it more informative and more and keep it in our database to make it more provide more accuracy, AI training and detection.
Nice. And so, closing question. There has been a lot of things happening in the region, across funding, across new satellites, both governmental, commercial. In few words, what is something that is making you excited for the EO developments in the region over the last year or so?
I think the region-specific consolidations of partners is something makes it really exciting for me personally as a company. We see we require to have a consolidated approach towards our Asia Pacific region, right? And the country, like-minded country, coming together to build something really cool. The way Quad was being set up, and of course some of the other in works. Even if it is a government to government, and still that has to be percolated down through company to company as well. So that is something I'm looking at, and I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of I'll say activity will gonna happen towards that. So that makes me excited. Yeah.
So I think EO is a very important thing for the government, not only in the military defense, military situation, but also like a few months ago in Taiwan, Hualien County have a very serious flooding, take a lot of people's life. So the EO will, if we have the real-time and powerful intelligence EO, we can provide and along the civilize to avoid from the disaster.
Nice. Well, I would like to thank my panelists for joining the panel. I would like to thank all of you for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Philip, and thank you for the panelists.